It's Independence Day, so let's talk about what's going on in America. Freedom, it's under attack in your state. Your Republican
You know where it's under attack, Gavin? It's under attack in the blue states. It's under attack in California. It's under attack in New York. It's under attack in New Jersey. It's under attack in Washington. It's under attack in Oregon. It's under attack in New Jersey, Massachusetts. It's in New England. It's on the coast, folks. That's where it's under attack. Don't tell us, okay, that Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis are attacking freedom. The only person that's attacking freedom, Gavin, look in a mirror. It's you.
leaders, they're banning books, making it harder to vote, restricting speech and
That's not what they're doing. They're not banning books. They're banning books that are pornographic, that are triple X. That's what they're banning. They're not marginalizing Florida children. No, they're not. They're giving them the freedom of choice. They're giving parents a say-so in the child's education, a child's curriculum. They're basically saying, don't sexualize our children. Don't make our children into racists and bigots by invoking CRT courses, critical race theory. And please, for heaven's sakes, don't start bringing in pornographic books that start to over-sexualize our children. That's what's happening. Tell the truth, Gavin. Don't tell the fake lies that you always do.
classrooms, even criminalizing women and doctors.
Criminalizing women and doctors, nobody's doing that. All they're basically saying that Florida now wants to be a state where, guess what? They voted they don't want to have abortions in the state of Florida. You want to go ahead and have an abortion somewhere? Go to a state that allows for abortion. That's what happens with Roe v. Wade being struck down, folks. This is just so much crap that Gavin just continues to feed. It's like taking a shovel and just continually shoveling in, excrement. That's all he's doing, guys. That's all the Democrats do. That's all the progressives do. That's all the mainstream mafia cartel media outlets. That's what they do. The alphabet networks. That's what they're constantly doing. Nobody's criminalizing women and doctors.
I urge all of you living in Florida to join the fight or join us in California, where we still believe.
Oh my God, this is such unbelievable. Join California, all he's showing is nice picture. Believe in freedom. You guys still have your COVID mask mandates on. What are you talking about? Some of your schools are still shut down. Parents are, what are you talking about? Freedom? Oh my goodness, Gavin. Good grief. How many lies can you espouse from your mouth and your lips?
Believe in freedom, freedom of speech, freedom to choose.
Freedom of speech, freedom to choose, freedom to, are you kidding me? If you're going to be introducing a law that's out there that's going to penalize doctors if they give out some type of COVID misinformation. Who decides the misinformation? You're morons and idiots that are running Sacramento and the whole up and down throughout the state of California. That's what you freedom to talk, freedom to love. Freedom Day. What? Oh, this was the video that Gavin Newsome put out, folks. Remember, for the July 4th, telling everybody, hey, come on over to California. There are people leaving. There's over I think, more people left California this year than ever. And California lost a congressional seat. And where are they moving to? They're moving to red states, folks. That's right. Red states. That's where they're moving to.
Freedom from hate and the freedom to love. Don't let them take your freedom.
Paid for by Newsome for California.
Don't let them take your freedom. You guys are already taking the freedom out in California. And that's unbelievable, Gavin. Oh, yep. There we go. The purse lips. I like the slick back hair. You know what? You're not Pat O'Reilly, though, okay? Although you're trying to be all right. At least he won something over there. What have you done, Gavin? Anyways, folks, we want to thank you for those of you just tuning in. You're watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show, and we've got a huge thing on tap for you today when everybody asks, what's on tap for today? And it is about there are some crazy, crazy laws that are starting up in effect as of 2023 in California. We always think California is crazy. Well, they are. And we're going to go into all those 5 laws, but we're going to go down some memory lane, folks. That's right. Give you a little bit of my reaction to just basically letting Gavin Newsome realize that some of the lies that he was unpacking from his mouth, setting the record straight with my reaction. Then we'll get into those laws, so stick around. If you haven't already done so, it's your first time here. We urge you to please subscribe to the channel. As I said before, you're watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I'm your guest host for today. My name is Dr. Shaikh. If you haven't already done so, hit that notification bell, like, share, and follow this video. Let's get and see what's going on in crazy Cali. So here's our president wannabe, Gavin Newsom. Oh my God, I can't even, it can't even escape my, it's hard to escape my lips. President, can't quite say it. Gavin Newsom. Oh my goodness. I shudder to think what this socialist Marxist would do if he was sitting on 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue in the White House. But here he is signing those new laws into effect. That's right. That's what he's doing. He's signing the new laws right into effect, folks. Unbelievable. But before we get into this, let's go down memory lane with another video that Gavin produced out there. Give you my reaction to that. We're going to go to that right now.
Hey, everybody. It's Governor Gavin Newsome here once again with all of you seeking one thing. We all have this in common. That's the truth. And the truth.
No, that's not the truth, Gavin. That's not the truth. That's not what we have in common. Conservatives, people on the right, Republicans, we want the truth. You on the left, you progressives, you moderates, you Democrats, you hypocrites, you want to spread lies and falsehoods. So please don't tell me that you guys want the truth. Let's see if you can even tell one as we go forward, Gavin.
Truth is, every single night we turn on the TV, you see some of these freedom-loving governors. Florida.
Thank God we see those freedom-loving governors from Florida and Texas and elsewhere. Thank God we see them, because we certainly don't want to see somebody who's not freedom-loving, obviously, with what you guys are doing in Cali.
Texas and elsewhere railing against vaccine mandates, particularly COVID vaccine mandates. But the truth is, every single one of them, led by Ron in Florida, are mandating vaccines for your kids in their state.
We know what's coming now, folks. It's not about the COVID vaccine mandates. It's about the other vaccines that are out there. Let's see if I'm right about this.
States. You can't get into public schools in Florida without 7 mandated vaccines.
Bingo! What'd I tell you? Bingo. What's he talking about? Folks, those are vaccines that have been in place for decades. And yes, I know there are some parents out there that feel that those vaccines, they don't want to give to their children. And that is a subject for another video that's out there. The efficacy of those vaccines, what those vaccines may or may not have been causing in terms of different health challenges and diseases that have occurred. And I know the vaccine, and there's pros and cons. There's doctors on one side, doctors on the other side. But all he's basically talking about is, and he wanted the truth. Well, yes, he's telling the truth. Yes, those vaccines are mandated by the state of Florida. They're also mandated across the country, folks. But one thing we know, those vaccines have been given to millions upon millions upon millions, billions of people, folks. Not just the United States, but all around the world. And they have been tested. They've gone through rigorous FDA scrutiny, and we can talk about there's so many other things. I realize that some of you out there may say, but Dr. Nasir, what about these vaccines that have caused different diseases or alleged to have caused like autism or other types of immunological syndromes that have attacked the immune system of young children or even adults? I told you before, that's for another video. All we're saying right now is that at least we've got data on those, and it has eradicated so many things like measles, mumps, rubella, and all those others. Now he's trying to basically conflate the vaccine mandate for COVID and conflate that that's part of this. Come on, okay, Gavin, you want to talk the truth? Well, speak the truth. Don't speak, okay, with the forked tongue. All right, that's not what we want. Anyways, what we're going to do right now, folks, is let's get into the background of those laws, those crazy laws in Cali that have started into effect on January 1st, 2023. We're going to get to those right now. Oh, and remember when Gavin Newsome tweeted this out when it was in with the video? We're about to celebrate Independence Day, but freedom's under attack. Banning books, restricting speech, making it hard to vote, criminalizing women and doctors. It's time to stand up. Don't let them take your freedom, right? We're not. We're accepting our freedom, Gavin. That's what we're doing in the red states. You're restricting it in blue states, and you're one of the biggest leaders of restricting freedom in this country. And then remember, when this came out, again, we're talking about hypocrite or fraud, back to school for Florida, governor loves to rail against the vaccines. We talked about this as well. Let's get to those crazy laws. Well, here we see one. Here are the 5 most radical laws. One of them sort of is put on hold, but these are the ones that are taking place on New Year's Day. Very little opposition because of the shrinking Republican majority in the blue, deep blue state of California. So, number 1, SB 107. It's a sanctuary state for transgender kids right now, folks. That's right. The law is signed. It protects the use of drugs or surgery to provide so-called, and look how they term it, gender affirming care, GAC. It sounds so nice. Gender affirming care to children from other states where the use of such treatments is restricted or is criminalized. And thank God for those states, folks. You know what we're doing now? You want to hypersexualize, you want to oversexualize kids, then you want to hyper increase the delusion that these children are having gender issues when they're just children at that time. They don't know what they are, what they want to be, or what they want to do. They just have questions. But no, you want to allow right away. Let's get them into treatment. Let's get them into medicines. Let's get them into puberty blocking drugs. Let's give them increased estrogen. Let's give them increased testosterone. Let's decrease whatever it is. And then if that's not there, then finally, guess what? Let's go ahead with gender affirming care. Let's go ahead with reassigned surgery, sex surgery. And in many cases, in some states, like I believe it's law in Oregon, I could be wrong or it hasn't passed yet, you don't even need the permission. As long as you're 13, you can get reassignment surgery scheduled and done. I mean, is that where we're headed to? And basically it says it prohibits doctors from releasing information to other states, prohibits California courts interfering in child custody over such treatments. I mean, this is unbelievable, folks, going into law. Here's the other one. Gavin talked about, freedom of speech. Well, where's the freedom of speech of COVID misinformation? This law requires California's medical licensing boards. What do they have to do? They can take disciplinary action against doctors. That's right, against doctors or any other healthcare practitioners with the dissemination of misinformation or disinformation related to the SARS COVID virus or COVID-19. Now, of course, what does the law not take into account? What about all the different types of supposed ideas, the supposed studies, the way in terms of the recommendations were by the CDC and how they changed over time? So you talk about freedom of speech, you certainly aren't allowing that. This is going to muzzle a lot of doctors and they're just going to say, it's not worth it. I'm just going to keep my mouth shut and that's it. How about this? Folks, crazy Cal. Crazy Cal. That's right. It's like that crazy uncle that comes to your house once a year, but that's all you have to deal with it, folks. Once a year, at vacation time, Thanksgiving or Christmas or another holiday. But unfortunately, this crazy uncle in California, he's not there just for a day or two. He's there 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. He's going to be there forever. And they're going to decriminalize, believe it or not, jaywalking. And you know why, folks? Racism. That's right, folks. They found a way to say that jaywalking, because as a misdemeanor, is because of racism. They take out a brand new deck of cards with the R on it and throw it on the table. The big R, folks, the big R. And it's called the Freedom to Walk Act. So I guess okay. Gavin was getting you want freedom to walk. I thought we all had the freedom to walk, to talk, to do whatever the heck we want to do. But it's a Freedom to Walk Act. It presumes that jaywalking is a racist crime because it's supposedly enforced unevenly. This is by the most. So in other words, supposedly the nation's most left-wing state that lurches to the left. In fact, it lurches so far to the left that we're afraid that it's just going to slide on in to the Pacific, right? I mean, but this in communities of color. So they're acknowledging somehow that the most leftist state, supposedly the most friendliest state to everybody, the most inclusive state, the most diverse state, the most equitable state, the most state with the most equality, arrest people because of racism when they're jaywalking. And that's because they supposedly can't afford to pay their fines. So it prevents police from stopping people who are crossing the street illegally unless they're in danger. So now we're going to have police officers trying to see whether or not someone's in danger jaywalking. Unbelievable, folks. Unbelievable. Now here's one. This one allows nurses to perform abortions. Oh, that's right, folks. Nurses can now do abortions. All it's going to do is to expand access to abortion. That's right, by allowing qualified nurses to perform certain abortion procedures in the first trimester of pregnancy without the supervision of a doctor. It's going to take alongside a new proposition in California, in the California Constitution. It was passed by a referendum back in 2022, guaranteeing the right to an abortion and contraception. It is now in the Constitution of California that you have a right, whether you're a citizen of California or not a citizen of California. If you come to California, you have a right to an abortion and contraception. It is a constitutional right from the state of Florida. Here's another one, folks. They want to decriminalize loitering. Not just loitering from around a 7-Eleven or from around a store or from around a building or whatever. I mean, it is part of that. But they just want to decriminalize loitering for, wait for it, the oldest profession in the world. No, not beer, making beer, come on. Prostitution. That's right, folks. They're going to decriminalize loitering. So this law, which was brought up by State Senator Scott Wiener, I kid you not, Scott Wiener, that hot dog, Democrat of San Francisco, has a law that says decriminalizing loitering in public for the purpose of committing prostitution, which still remains a crime. But just standing there loitering around a building, around a street, around a block, around a store, whatever, that's going to be decriminalized, even though they know what you're there for. It also allows those convicted of such loitering to petition the courts for dismissal and then to seal the cases. So what it's trying to do is it's trying to lower or eliminate the stigma of sex work. And it commits, there's a statewide crime wave. So this is what they want to focus on, basically. Now, there's another law, the state control of fast food restaurants. It creates a 10-member Politburo. That's right, a Politburo council, a communist, socialist, Marxist council. And guess what? Fast food council, you serve for 10 years. It's going to set wages and working conditions for all the fast food industry. It has been suspended by the courts after a bunch of restaurants got together, formed a group, a coalition, and fought it, got the signatures to block until referendum basically can be held. Now, there's other laws that have come out there that are just going to start to go into effect in future years. But I'm telling you what, he is starting, I mean, he's already been that, starting to do it, done it. as extreme left as you can go. This guy, Gavin Newsom, wants to go even further. Oh, and here's an update, folks. Allowing private citizens to sue for gun violations. That's right, it was partially blocked by a San Diego judge, but it does now allow private citizens to sue each other for alleged violations of state gun laws. And it's crazy, folks. Crazy out in California. Anyways, we appreciate you taking the time to watch our video. As I said before, if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel. You're watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I've been your guest host for today, Dr. Shaikh. And hit that notification bell, like, share, and follow this video. And I'll leave you with my final thought, folks, and it's really apropos here. And that is, when you're right, and when you're left, you're in the state of California, and they're wrong. We'll see you again next time, folks. Take care and stay safe.